Hi there, students. What's the difference between straw, bran and chaff? And this video is dedicated to Manu, who asked about this. Okay, straw is easy. Straw is the stem and the leaves of cereal plants, particularly, for example, wheat. So you grow wheat, and the wheat has a stem and it has leaves, and you cut this off at the bottom and you get the seeds out of it, and what you have left is the straw. Straw is like a stick with leaves, with the plant leaves on it, and that you then dry. You put it out to dry, and straw you can use for food for animals. You could use it to make a straw hat or a basket. You could use it as a bed for an animal. They use straw in the stables of horses, or as a food for animals. Cows like to eat straw, for example. Now, bran and chaff are slightly different. Chaff is the covering of the seed. So you cut the whole plant, and you have the straw, and you separate the seed and the chaff from the straw. And the chaff is an outer covering that protects the seed, and it holds the seed in position on the plant. And you then separate the seed from the chaff to separate the wheat from the chaff. And the chaff is a very thin, almost transparent thing. Now, the chaff you can they use it to feed to animals, for example. And last of all, you have the bran. Now what we have left is the seed, and normally the seed has a hard cover around the outside, and inside it you've got all the good things of the seed. The bran is the hard cover around the seed, and it's normally taken off by milling the seeds. The bran is the outside part of the seed, the hard exterior, and bran is famous for its high fiber content. So maybe you put bran flakes with your with yogurt for your breakfast, for example. Let's see. Bran is primarily used for animal feed, but humans eat it as well. All of these things are used as animal feed. The chaff is also fed to animals. Sometimes it's used to improve the soil as well. Okay, the bran is not very digestible. The chaff is moderately digestible, and the straw, well, is not very digestible at all. Okay, so these are all parts of the harvesting process. They're all things that are left over. They're all byproducts from harvesting. So bran is the hard outer layer of the grain itself, which is separated during milling and refining. When you make white flour, you take out the bran. The bran apparently is quite nutritious. It's a good source of fiber, and it has high fat content. The chaff is a very, very light, scaly, protective covering around the grain, but the chaff is not part of the grain itself. The chaff is actually part of the stalk and the plant. It's the part that keeps it joined, and then the straw is the main stick, the stem and the leaves that are left. Okay, so Bran comes from Proto-Celtic bragnos, meaning rotten or foul, because the bran goes rotten very quickly. Chaff comes from Proto-West Germanic Chaff, and in Dutch or in Low German, Chaff as well, meaning chaff. And then the straw is from Proto-Indo-European strew, to spread around, and we still use this word, to strew, to spread around. So yeah, I prefer my cereals to have bran because they're good for my digestion. If you add bran to the recipe, it gives a nice nutty flavour. My grandmother used to bake bran cookies, and then the chaff, to separate the wheat from the chaff, to separate the useful things from the not so useful things. And the wheat is useful and the chaff is not particularly useful. You can feed it to animals and other things. For example, they put the seeds and the chaff in a basket, and you throw it in the air, and the wind blows the chaff away, and the seeds all fall back down into your basket. The combine harvester collected the chaff as it harvested the crops. The farmer used a fan to separate the chaff from the grain. The chaff covered the ground like a blanket. And then finally the straw. So you can't make bricks without straw. You need something solid. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. Yeah, a wide-brimmed straw hat shielded his face. Yes, this is the very last straw. So, bran, chaff and straw. Bye for now.